Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Can-Am Connection. Jody.
Yes.
Jody. Happy birthday, Jody.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you, everybody out there. All two of you right now.
Well, I appreciate you jumping on here and spending some time with us on your birthday when you probably got other things you could be doing. The family's probably waiting for you.
No, they're at my son's sleep. My daughter's back in Long Beach, back at school. And my wife's at work. So other than that, I'm just coming off a 14-hour shift. So I got off at 4:30 this morning. So
where do you want to begin? Hey, let me ask you, what do you think of the Super Bowl?
I picked up toward the end. And for me playing football, I'm a defensive guy anyway. So it didn't bother me that the score was, low because I'm a defensive player. Now, from a fan's perspective, it was kind of boring. And I totally get where they're coming from. It's the biggest game of the year. You want, the bells and whistles and all that kind of stuff. And then the fourth quarter picked up. Then drama. And, now you start seeing people kind of stressed out, go, okay, do we want to play to win or play not to lose? You kind of saw that thing and, turnovers and people were panicking. And I'm still trying to understand when some of the Niners were asked, hey, why did you take the ball when you won the coin toss? And some were saying that I didn't realize that the overtime rules changed. And I'm like going, okay, from a football standpoint, I would like to know, what am I in for? Do I need to kick a field goal or score a touchdown? So I would have said, if I was the Niners who won the coin toss for overtime, said, no, we'll receive, let them take the ball. Because then you know that if they score a field goal, okay, no big deal. If they score a touchdown, then I have to score a touchdown. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
You know what you're in for.
Right.
So there's a little bit of controversy, of course. I mean, there has been this whole season with, whatever weirdness is going on. But what do you think of the controversy around the whole yelling in the coach's face by Travis Kelce and the chest bump and all that stuff? Because people are talking about that. Even I'm seeing it all over the place on arm wrestlers' profiles.
I made a joke and said, oh, well, only he can get away with that. But I don't care what magnitude the game is. You don't do that.
Would we be talking about it if it was anybody else? Would we have even noticed?
To a certain degree, but it won't get as many eyes on it because, I like to know what Taylor Swift was thinking. Like, why you punching, yelling at your coach and stuff, and chest bumping and all that kind of stuff. Why are we doing that? But nonetheless, I guess there has some bets. Like, anytime you get the Super Bowl, my son was telling me there were bets on, hey, what color Gatorade is going to be dumped? Or, hey, how many times will the camera zoom in on, Taylor Swift? I mean, there were just random bets over there. So I thought that was weird.
That's how it goes. Well, back to arm wrestling. Where do you want to begin?
My friend, let's get down to the meat and potatoes before we start going off topic, which is probably we should touch on. But what do you have planned this weekend, my friend?
Well, in the video description, I might add, there is a link to the live stream of the event that's going to be happening on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
On Friday, I am flying to Texas, where I will face Nicholas Adams with the left arm and Robbie Burnett with the right arm.
See, I didn't know you had the match with Nicholas. I knew you had the match with, Burnett. It's been talked about for a while. I didn't know you had a match with Mr. Adams. Tell me about how that happened.
Well, it's interesting because I look at the link and it says Canada versus Texas. Well, it's just me. It's just me, me versus Texas. So
they got to put some spin on it, right?
Yeah. How did it happen? Well, Robbie is an underrated talent in the States.
Well,
and
depending on who you talk to, because For a while, Robbie took some time off, and
right.
now he's resurfaced. But it's not like he's a nobody. Here, I put you. Does it make sense if I say this? Burnett, household name, and then when he decided to take time off, and then we'll call it the arm wrestling boom, right? And when I say boom, I'm thinking like post Game of Arms, boom. When he came back, anybody outside of Texas probably didn't know too much about Robbie. You know, you had to know him beforehand.
Then he had a bit of momentum going. He had, he participated in the big WAL events.
Mm-hmm.
He did well. He all of a sudden had a weird phantom win. Like he faced Chance Shaw in a tournament and beat him. And then he wasn't getting any matches and he took some time away. Now he's back and he put it out there that he would face anyone in the top. I don't remember how he worded it, but he was looking for a match.
Right.
With the right arm. And I said, well, I will do it. And I was not ranked. So I had come off the rankings. And I'm currently not on the rankings at all with the North American rankings with the right hand. So Robbie's actually number 20. And I'm not on there at all. So I thought, you know what, I like Robbie. Like I went and trained with those guys and I offered it up and he jumped at the match. So that got signed. And then we had they asked me if I would do a left-handed match as well because Nicholas was looking for, something and he wanted to test himself. So here we are.
While you're there, but let me ask you this:
there.
You went to Texas a couple years ago, and I think it was the day you pulled Corey West.
Yeah.
Was Robbie there?
Robbie was not there. Because
okay. I was going to say, was that like one?
That's a controversial thing because Robbie and Corey do not like each other very much, and Robbie was asked to stay away.
Because if you know Robbie, he doesn't hold back.
And he does not. He does not.
There were some comments back when that was going on between those guys where he does not hold back. When he lets loose, he lets loose. That's just it, So
yeah. He sure does. So I think that a lot of people are favoring him in this match. And I think it might be – there's a lot of people that say it's a good match, but they think Robbie will win, including Travis. Travis said that on the podcast with Artem.
Right.
Because he said Robbie felt differently. I think that it's going to be a bit of a throwback. I've got a plan for this.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to look, I'm feeling pretty confident, but, I'll do what I can. May the best man win. I feel very confident with both arms going down there.
Good.
I'm actually thinking about jumping into the tournament as well.
You know what? Here's my thing, and
you know what I would do that for? I want to feel like guys like Jerome Loud might show up to this thing. So
really?
Well, I mean, isn't he in Florida?
No, he's in Georgia.
Oh, he's in Georgia. Okay, well, who knows?
Well, here, and since we're touch base on that, did you hear what what's that guy's name? Muhammad. He had posted something on, Facebook because there was a match between Jerome Loud and Chance Shaw, right-handed, and Jerome was kind of
making the rounds, and he looked really dominant.
Yeah. And it's like, well, how come Jerome doesn't get all his love? I'm thinking, and he said, okay, and then I had to step in. He said, well, he should, pull John Brzenk at the King of Table. Why John Brzenk? I don't know why he's pushing for that. But he was like, well, maybe it's a color thing why Jerome's not getting the love on these big stages. I'm like, okay, this is where I got to chime in. All right, gentlemen, as a black guy in this sport, I will be happy to put my 2 cents in. And I said in that post, I was like, I don't believe in my heart of hearts, it's not a race thing. It's more of a social media thing. Jerome is not on social media whatsoever. Not Facebook, not YouTube, not Instagram, none of that. Unless you have a direct line to him, he's hard to get a hold of. Now, he showed when the big money tournaments, he does show up. like Florida League. I mean, he's out of Georgia, right? So when you go to a Florida Armwrestling League, there's going to be some studs down there. I mean, after all, we're talking about the same Jerome Loud that put the scare in Matt Mass during the East versus West finals last year.
On the flip side of that, so, they're talking about Jerome not getting, more attention, more opportunities. But am I correct in saying that he's not the most active guy either?
He's only active when it's like the real big events. Then he shows up.
But even previous to that, like we were talking about him back at the World Arm Wrestling League, but he would come and go, like he would be gone for long periods of time in between competing.
It's and here's another point. And in the chat, feel free to chime in. Everyone has a different path in this sport, Maybe being the elite is not his path, And I'm just being honest. I mean, honestly, do I personally think we need to see a Jerome Loud on the King of Table or East versus West? King of Table, no. East versus West, I don't know, because the fact that, number one, granted, he took second to Matt Mass, so there's some clout there. But I would like to see him on a knuckles up stage, where it's a big promotion, but it's not the elite. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, because it's not the big two, right? Like there's those big two organizations, and then there's kind of the tier just below that, which is there's a whole bunch of those, and the competition is not at times no less, but there's a lot more opportunity there. So the Monster Factories, the Knuckles Ups, those events. I agree that he should probably go. Well, I mean, that match with Chance, I think, is going to get him an opportunity at East versus West anyway.
Oh, no doubt. And I'm pulling for him. Now, I will say this, though. I don't know how he is in super match format. I've seen him in the past years, where he's pulled some formidable guys. The one match that really sticks out to me, super match-wise, was when he pulled Pablo a couple years ago.
Yeah.
You remember that one?
It's foggy, but I mean, Jerome Loud's been making, like, he's been doing amazing things sporadically for a few years.
But this is why I admire somebody like Jerome, because the fact that he goes by the toot of his own horn. I will pull what I want to pull.
Yeah.
I will compete when I want to compete. I will do what I think I need is right for me, not what everybody else wants, which is good. And yes, Dan Willie Pablo's on a different dude now, but it ain't like, I mean, Jerome's gotten better too now. I mean, it's a two-way street. Jerome's gotten better also. But, getting back to your original thought, yeah, what if Jerome Loud shows up there, because Georgia's only a hop, skip, and a jump from Florida. So
we're in Dallas, Texas, man. So it's a lot of people could just show up. You never know.
I'll be in Dallas in July, by the way.
Make sure you try to connect with that club. Yeah.
Well, I'll be there, but it'll be more of a World Series of Arm Wrestling qualifier event.
Okay.
So I'll be there July 13th. Well, technically it's in Fort Worth, but the Fort Worth, Dallas Metroplex area. So I'll be there July 13th. And I myself have a nice little setup that's a match that's going to take us further down the road later this calendar year. So
excellent. So just to wrap up the whole thoughts on Texas, the event stream, the link is already up there. It's in this video description. So tune in on Saturday. You'll see it there. I've got a late flight where I actually have to fly to Toronto first and then down to Dallas. I get there at 11:30 at night. I guess I'm going to get to a hotel, go to sleep, wake up, go arm wrestle, hang out with everybody. And then the next day I fly home early in the morning back through Toronto, I think.
I've done that before. I do that a lot.
Yeah.
Just to try to make it back into work. Speaking of which, as I told you, got a new job, right? Working for the county. So it'll affect me being on this show on Tuesdays for the most part. There'll be a window where I won't be able to make it on Tuesdays because I'll be Sunday through Thursday. And I'll have Friday, Saturday off. And then I'm working for the county. I'm on a rotation. Yep. So once I get through all the training weeks and all that other stuff, the next rotation will be April 8th. And then I'll be back because then I'll be put on swing shift and my days off are Tuesday and Wednesday. So I'll be back, but I'll sporadically here and there. So this will be the last show I do on Tuesday for maybe a couple weeks, give or take.
Okay. Well, we'll work it out, man. We'll work it out. We'll do something.
If we got to do a recorded show, because we've done that before, then so be it, So anyway, latest and greatest. What you got, sir?
Man.
Did you hear the Travis match was off now?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know what to believe there. I mean, I think the smart money would be on Travis staying retired. Oh, Dan Woodley. Blast from the past.
There you go. So you talked about something, and they're not trolls, but they're like, in the summertime, you got these gnats. You got that shit going on.
Which way are we going with this?
We'll call these gnats, right?
Okay.
This could be a prelude to my soapbox, but you got these gnats, and they're like, get out of here. We got them in arm wrestling too. Like, there's going to be a time where this sport used to be cool, but then you get these gnats that'll sit there. We're past the 15-minute mark, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I can cuss?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got these gnats that like to sit there and fuck our sport up, right? So, we've talked about this gentleman before, oh, Lord.
You're going to say it, aren't you? You're going to say his name.
Shed some light. Let's make a game of it. Let's talk about the topic and then see if anybody in the chat can guess who we're talking about.
Yeah.
So you told me this individual was trying to push his way through to be on the Arm Gods card, yes?
Judging by the titles of his videos that he sends me every time he makes a new one, it appears you directly,
was he like hashtag you or what?
Directly, like to my inbox on Facebook. So I get these messages whenever he makes a new video, and I noticed that he tagged you in something very recently.
Yeah.
And the photo, you didn't see it, but it was actually the advertisement or the poster from No Holds Barred. So you can imagine.
Talk about what, Hogan and Zeus?
Yes. And he put his face on one person and your face on the other. Can you guess which is which?
This is what makes me laugh, because it's like going, I thought we've been there, done that. I can see nobody's guessed who we're talking about in the chat, but
no one's guessed yet. They're not trying yet. Where is some of our regulars are missing, man. But anyway, go on.
Here's my thing. I'm going to chalk it up as this gentleman, to narrow it down. This gentleman has got some serious mental issues, and I really hope he gets that taken care of sooner rather than later.
And I don't think he's hidden from the channel. I think he has the ability to comment, and I think he does watch.
Well, if he's there, by all means, come on aboard. Not that I would ever like him to be a guest.
Clayton. No, it's not Clayton Ward, but that's a good guess.
Yeah.
That's a solid guess.
That's probably, yeah. But no, it's not. But the weird thing is that, there's a situation, and I'm going to start talking and breaking down the fourth wall, and people start guessing. So October 2023, okay? So this gentleman, said a few things, blah, 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 didn't like it, yada, yada, yada. But for some reason, he keeps hanging on. He felt like he was getting banned from these events due to what I had to say, like I had some kind of superpower or whatever, But the thing is, though, is that it's week in, week out. He's ignorant. That's just being nice, right? And he makes these videos on YouTube on his channel. The only reason why I even know about it because either A, I'll get tagged in one, or B, somebody will see it and says, "Hey, Jody, that dude's at it again. Here it is." And I feel like if I keep watching what he, says when I'm tagged or anything, that's giving him any kind of spotlight, What do you feel, or how do you feel about that?
Oh man, I don't know. Like the gentleman is manifesting things in his own mind. I do not for a second.
Jack Haynes all of a sudden.
Well, I do not for a second think that anyone is actively trying to keep somebody down because, and I mean no offense to this, but his relevance is not where it would need to be for someone to actively try to keep him down. He's gained his little moment of fame by saying some stuff he shouldn't have said.
Mm-hmm.
And now he is trying to capitalize on that by continually advertising, and I don't want to give it away, that people are calling him this certain thing over and over again. And they're not, because they're not talking about him.
Right.
So he tags a lot of people. And sometimes he gets a bite when he casts the line, and he generally gets it from the 98% guys and Paul Italia. So
there's your clue right there, people.
And they'll say his name once in a blue moon, and then he'll make a video about it. And he really, really likes to clip up, and he'll clip up our show. There's my opponent. He'll clip up our show after this, but he often clips up the 98% show and takes their sound bites and tries to turn it into something.
Kudos to Nicholas Adams. There it is. Now, I'll say this. He is more known for his antics off the table than his accomplishments or athletic ability on the table.
Yeah, I would agree with that because I had not heard of him until the moment in question.
Oh, you ain't missing nothing.
No, I didn't hear anything about his arm wrestling ability. I did hear about the other stuff pretty quickly. Right. And I repeatedly heard about that. And I told the guy, this would blow over for him if he just quit talking about it, but he won't quit talking about it. And, Nicholas Adams has nailed it. So he's saying things like, everyone keeps labeling me a racist. Well, nobody's labeling him because nobody's until today. So I'm proving him right. Nobody's talking about him, but here we are. And then he, will tag a whole bunch of people and make these videos saying, holding me down, I'm coming for you, that kind of stuff. And okay, do it. Come for these guys. Come and arm wrestle. I don't know that there's a promoter out there that's actively banned him from an event. Maybe there is.
But there was an Olympia event that took place that always takes place in Orlando in December. And I guess I wouldn't use the word banned, but he got
told not to come to that one.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean you're banned from any other tournament. And if I'm not mistaken, down south, there's tournaments every 2 to 3 weeks anyway down there. That's how fluent arm wrestling is down there.
Yeah.
So
does anybody know him well enough that if he drove one state over and used a different name, that they would even clue in that it was him?
And not only that, but it's I sit there and his rivals with Ryan Grondin at 90%, good friends of mine. And, he even offered to pull Grondin, and Grondin's like, I'm not even a real arm wrestler. I'm just, I put on one of the biggest events in the Northeast once a year, which is coming up, by the way, Winter Blast, March 23rd, I believe. Yeah. And all of a sudden, you have to understand, like our show right now, everybody in the chat, just so you know, the Can-Am Connection, you do not get on the show unless we allow you on the show, right? Now, here's the problem, or here's some of the issues. So you take somebody like Mr. Grondin, right? And anybody can join, because we all know if you watch their show, it's Friday night. Hey, it's been a long week. Hop on the show. Let's talk about anything you want. They have the link already on there, so you can just chime in there.
Oh, yeah, you can. They won't make you wait in the waiting room very long. Like, they'll just throw you in there, and you can. I mean, they even made the mistake of letting this gentleman back on the show, and then he did it again. Like,
but see, once shame on you, twice shame on me.
So I think the chances of him getting on there a third time are 0, unless he.
No, he's been on there. Actually, was it last Friday or the Friday before last? Because I get off work late at night on Friday, right? So I'm coming home. Let me check in and see what's everybody up to. Hey, y'all, that I'm looking, but he had disguised himself in a different name. I wasn't.
So they let him on and then booted him?
And I'm like going, okay, I'm out. Never mind. Got in, saw it. Nope, I'm done. I didn't want to be on the same screen with this dude, right? So, and of course, you know, somebody messaged me going, hey, why'd you get off the show? I was like, because I don't want to be on the same show with that guy. Well, we'll ask him to get off. I'm like, no, don't do it on my account. I mean, no, it's just, you know,
well,
again.
Then he'll come after you for being the guy that banned him from the show kind of thing, you know? Because that's the kind of narrative that he likes to make in his head.
So, again, why do we have people like this in our sport that saturate just negativity, right? Because once upon a time, arm wrestling was cool. And it still can be, but we got all these dumbasses just messing the sport up, you know? We got these guys like Harlan being who he is, don't know why he does it. We got other people in the sport hitting the nail on the head over and over. Hey, how about a super match? No. Hey, how about you know, maybe one day we can have a super match when you get healthy? No. Hey, how about your left hand? No. Well, hey, your right's not good, but my right's good, but maybe you get surgery, then we can pull. No. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just like over and over. It's like, dude, enough already.
But he's going down the path where he should have the most success, because Arm Gods, the last organization he mentioned, is, no offense, guys, but it's the freak show of arm wrestling.
It fits him.
I mean, we're having beer cans smashing guys upside the head as a start.
Thumbtack matches.
Now, and I get it. Uncle John is one of the biggest wrestling fans that isn't on this show. And they're having a thumbtack match. And there's going to be a hardcore belt up for grabs.
Somewhere.
So this reminds me, I remember watching an episode of Fantasy Island. You remember that show? Like the
with Tattoo?
With Tattoo.
Yeah.
And they're arm wrestling. I remember watching this as a kid. And there was a tarantula on each side of the table. And if you pinned your opponent, he would get bit by the spider and you would die.
You know, and we could touch base on that for a minute. Thumbtack match. There are going to be some specially made pin pads with thumbtacks attached to them. So you know at some point, because there's going to be some false starting to make your opponent bleed just before, you know, before it really gets good.
Here's my question, and I'm thinking about this from an analytical perspective.
Okay.
So you're going to arm wrestle. You cannot top roll your opponent or go straight sideways, because the first fingers that are going to hit the tacks are your own. So your only option is to, well,
are we shoulder pressing?
You gotta either shoulder press, flop wrist, or you've got to turn into a deep hook, and that way you can put your opponent's arm into the thumbtacks.
Does Uncle John know how to deep hook?
I don't know, man. Like, this is the weird thing, because if he just top rolls, he's going to just get his own fingers onto the tacks.
I mean, you know what? Now that you brought that version up, I don't know. Wow, I didn't even think about that.
And I can't even believe we're talking about a thumbtack match, but you know.
So Arm Gods, you guys, for those that don't know, would be, and if you followed professional wrestling like Ryan and myself, Arm Gods would be the ECW of arm wrestling as far as promotions.
Yep, absolutely.
Do you agree?
Yeah, 100%. They've got the Sabus and they've got the
Sandman. They got the Tommy Dreamers and all that stuff, right? So
what was that other guy's name? Oh man,
pick one.
There's a whack of them there, but just all hardcore guys that.
New Jack City was there.
New Jack, that's the guy I was thinking of.
Yeah, Raven. I mean, it's just the list goes on and on. Yeah. But yeah, so it's like that organization would fit Eric Carlin.
And that's the path he's going. And you said the name.
Well, actually, Nicholas said it. He just typed it. So it's just, but yeah, so that fits him, Yeah, see, New Jack stab people in the ring. It's a renegade. Would that be a good word to use, a renegade?
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I've always said this. Now, some arm wrestling enthusiasts may look at that and go, "Oh man, you're just setting the sport back X amount of years." I tend to look at it like this. Publicity is publicity, to where I look at it like this. There's an organization that fits everyone. You got the elites of the elite, right? Yeah. They're striving to be on King of the Table. They're striving to be on East vs. West. And like you said, there's that next tier down, so to speak, where, okay, you got Knuckles Up. You got Arm Wars, right? And I'm not saying this is in any kind of order, but then to me, that's the next tier down. Where, hey, we're still serious, but we're not the elite of the elite. And, and like I said, you could throw in Monster Factory if you want to. And then you got Arm Gods that, that renegade, hey, you're a misfit, come join our organization or whatever you want to say. There's that, but there's different, leagues and stuff. And of course, you got the AWC, right?
Yeah.
Some people have made homes there. AWE, Bowen's thing, So I think there's a lot to be said about that. And now, what's that new one in Texas they got going on now? Flashpin Productions?
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah. So, check them out. Flashpin Productions, they had a show where now they're doing their own thing. And Texas is so big that they got their own league. They ain't got to really go nowhere because it's broken up in different, like, look, Texas State, the state championship, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm the South region champion. Well, I'm the North region. I'm the Central region. There's so many. That state is so huge width-wise and a little bit up and down that they're broken down into regions, right? So technically, if you live there and there's so much talent there, you really ain't got to go nowhere. There's states like Florida, the Florida Arm Wrestling League, which is now morphed into 2 divisions, Awesome pullers, you ain't got to go nowhere. And you'll still get the guys from Georgia, Jerome Loud. You'll still get the guys from Alabama that might chime in and all that kind of stuff. So you don't have to go anywhere. So again, all these leagues and organizations, what they do is that, hey, we want to cater to somebody because it's all helping us get better and get bigger as a whole,
Yeah. I don't know, man. This is a weird time in the sport. We are in the entertainment era almost.
Yeah.
But where do we go?
Yeah, and there's the entertainment production portion of it that can I even say it on the air? Nah. I can't say nothing. I want to, but then it's like it was kind of mentioned, but then it really didn't get into detail.
What's that?
I'm gonna say what's been said already, and then I'll leave it at that. This thing called The House.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who in the chat understands what I'm talking about? The House, right? So there's so I'm trying to figure out how to say it without letting the cat out of the bag, but then something's already said. So All I can say is that the house this fall, 2024. So, and you can take that and there's various ways you can read that. But yeah, the house, 2024. Yes, sir.
So I was just to switch gears just a little tiny bit.
Mm-hmm.
Before because this show is going to be a mixed bag of everything. But
yes.
Before we came on the air, I watched, because I was watching, it led me down a path. I went over and I was watching a clip from 98 Degrees.
Right.
98 Degrees, 98%. Boy bands and Ryan Grondin, I get them mixed up. So I'm watching this clip and they're talking about, or maybe it was maybe it was Paul Italia's clip. He's talking about somebody calling out Jerome Loud, Chance Shaw. Anyway, it was people being put on notice, and it was Mega Mike.
Oh yeah,
I went back and I watched his last super match, which was only like a week ago.
Are you talking about the one with Pablo?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Pablo looked pretty dominant.
Very dominant.
But now Mega Mike's calling out some guys. He's calling out some pretty major guys coming off of a loss. What do you think of that?
A couple of things stand out. One is because Brandon Allen had a practice, right? Hey, you're more than well happy to come, yada, 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 right? Pablo happened to be, hey, I'll come into town, whatever. So Uncle John was there, Pablo, Bob Brown, Mega Mike, this, that, and the other. Pablo's up here.
Yeah.
Like one of the elites. So if you can somewhat slow him down, you're a badass. And I understand from looking at it to where, well, you just got smacked by Pablo. Why are you calling out these guys? I kind of see where he's going with that, though. Because in your heart of hearts, do you think Jerome Loud can beat Pablo? It's already happened a few years ago. Do you think Chance Shaw can beat Pablo?
I don't. Well, no, I don't think those guys are quite there yet.
And who's the other one? Brad Grundy? Was that the other one?
Brad Grundy is the other one, and he is a great unknown. He is got the tools to do it.
So you use that, but are we using Pablo as the common denominator in this? Because I understand what you're saying. Like, hey, why is people calling out these guys when you just got whacked over, that weekend? And like I said, it all depends on how you look at it, because, yeah, going back to that footage, I know it's practice, but was it official, unofficial, call it what you want, whatever, right? It was still a practice. I think it was more to see where he stood at, I've never seen Mega Mike get his hand taken like that, but, it's Pablo. It's Pablo, right? It's Pablo. So it'd be interesting to see how that would go,
Jay Clean with the late appearance here.
Jay Clean, we were talking about the call out from Mega Mike that when he was on Paul Italia's show, he called out 3 guys, Chance Shaw, Jerome Loud, and Brad Grundy. 2 from the same state, ironically.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him against any one of them. And you want to see that,
I think you're throwing that name in the mix. Like now you got these guys that are, they're smaller. They're not super heavyweight guys. So Jerome Loud, I think Mega Mike, I think they all can make that, 230-ish class.
Yeah.
Man, even
Mega Mike had to die down. He had to die down just to pull 2. So the World Series of Arm Wrestling, you heard about that league, right? The weight classes are kind of weird.
Yeah.
So there's a 239 class.
That's weird.
Yeah, right? So in the finals last year in San Diego, Mega Mike had to cut in order to make the 239.
Yeah. So you got these guys that are right in that, and I guess that would be why somebody would say put Jerome Loud against Brzezinski, because they're kind of in that class together now. give him that match. It would have to be King of the Table because I don't think Engen will ever do a West versus West match.
Right.
Or it's very rare. I'll say that. So it would be a King of the Table type thing, which, next week we got to do a preview because that's an exciting one coming up. But I think there's good opportunity out there. I think the High Five guys, they've announced the date of the next event. They're going to be watching very closely what happens at these few events over the next couple of weeks and picking guys out of there.
Right.
That would be why I'm kind of excited for what might happen in the tournament in Texas.
Okay, so here we go. Now we're getting to the meat and potatoes. So look at it this way. If my man Espey decides to go ahead and put his name in the hat for the tournament, next thing you know, hey, High Five guys, you guys watching, right? Did you see what I'm about to do? Okay, cool. So now all of a sudden, you said they set a date or no?
Yeah, they did. They got the dates they put it on their Instagram. I don't remember what they are off the top of my head, but they set it up for number 3 and number 4.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
And they have some qualifiers too, right?
Don't know if there's qualifiers. I assume they'll do one qualifying tournament, kind of like they did last time.
Right.
Where they had their guy come and get on the pay-per-view card. Or was it the pre-matches?
Do you ever get on Marco Polo? Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
So I got a Marco Polo notification from Jamie Sheldon. So, okay, before we got into this Mega Mike thing, so I was going to sit there and say to you, hey, man, this fall, right? What can and can I not say? So I'm going to go to Greg Sharp, right? So it goes, I'm going to just read it because it's already out there. So this ain't nothing that no one else knows or whatever. So this says, hey, WSA, don't you love acronyms? So WSA presents the house, right? This fall / winter of 2024. 2 teams, cash money, arm wrestling and more. Who will the team captains pick? One captain is Jamie Sheldon. Other captain is yours truly. So we got a Team Williams versus Team Sheldon, right?
Okay.
Now, the house. Does anybody remember? You probably do. Ultimate Fighter.
Of course.
Do you remember the format?
Yes.
It's going to be kind of like that.
So you're going to live together. You're going to train together. You're going to have separate training times, and the 2 captains will have challenges against each other, and the guys will basically have arm wrestling matches 1 a week or whatever it is.
And then the finale will be Jamie versus me. So,
yeah.
But it will kick off July 13th.
Or it'll be like the last season where it's you versus Jamie, and it takes 3 years and never happens. Like Connor and Chandler.
Well, here's the thing. So July 13th, him and I got a date on the table, right? So left and right. It's going to culminate itself, and that will be the kickstart, and then it's going to roll right into the fall / winter. So I'm only going to be focused on that, So after this March 2nd, 64-man Super Series, which I'm excited for, but you'll still a little nervous because it's right hand, not my best hand. Fighting bone spurs, fighting arthritis, but when the purse is $5,000, and did I tell you all that was there as far as what's up for grabs?
No.
You want me to read that to you?
Sure.
Okay, so Aries, right? And here's the thing, man. This is big time stuff here because you got to understand that not only I'm trying to find a thing here, Vitacell has been involved, where that's one of the vouchers, by the way, in case people didn't know, for the person that wins. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yes, Stem Cells Incorporated. Yes. I'm excited because we're going to get things going. I'm trying to find a link here where he had posted that. But nonetheless, yeah, so $5,000, right? And you become a sponsored athlete of Aries, right? That means you get to fly anywhere. You get to compete at any tournament you want to. That $5,000 is in that bank. Yeah. I guess you gotta like say, hey, Corey, Frank, this is where I went. Here's my, purchase or whatever. Just kind of show them whatever. Obviously you got to wear the, apparel. But when you got that on there, and then Bob Brown decided, hey, I'm gonna donate 1,000. Let's go ahead and you guys divvy it up. Oh, sweet. Then all of a sudden, VitaCell got involved. Hey, boom. For the winner, we got a VitaCell voucher. Well, damn. Now everybody that didn't want to do it now wants back in.
Awesome.
And, for me, I'm thinking, I got a legit shot at winning this. But this is the second go around. Last Friday, I just got another cortisone injection in my wrist. And yeah, I don't want to continue to do this over and over. So I'm trying to figure out, because I got it back in December, felt good. And then it lasted for a while. I'm thinking, all right, we're going to ride this bad boy to March. And then there was one Sunday I had a real hard practice with my team and was like, ouch. You know how you get that sore after a practice and it feels like it wasn't injury. It's just like, okay, I'm just sore from practice. I'm thinking another week goes by. I'm thinking, ooh, okay. Another week goes by. Oh, it's back. It wore off. So I don't know what everyone's history is about cortisone shots, but it's basically a Band-Aid. It's temporary, but it all depends on the person. It can last up to 3 weeks, 3 months, whatever, right? So I just got another shot last Friday. Just let me get through this tournament and then go from there because I can't constantly do this. And then with the house coming up, that's going to be involving my right hand also. So I got some decisions to make. So
be careful because those can dry out and make deteriorate your tendons from what I hear.
Yes, that's why. And I told the doctor, I was like, I don't want to keep coming in for this. But him and I talked about, well, let's get you through the tournament and then kind of go from there. So I've been smart this time. Like I've been lifting, but no torque on the wrist. I don't want to do that because I want to make sure I'm as healthy as I can when I roll in there. Yes, GB, they're not good. And it's like, it's just a Band-Aid. I just want to get this pain away because it's basically arthritis, right? It's arthritis around the wrist. I'm like, okay, that's why I got these yahoos saying, hey, Jody, how about you and I for a super match right-handed? You fucktard. Of course you want to do that because I'm not 100%. So it's like I get that. But and then he goes, because this is a conversation me and that guy had. He says, well, get surgery, then we can pull. I'm like, okay, anybody out of nowhere wants to challenge you and is like, hey, let's do it. I don't know about you, Espey, but I'm thinking, okay, you must be saucing up or something.
Well, it's the R and T, the TRT, and everyone thinks that it's something we've beaten to death. R means replacement. It doesn't mean augmentation. So, it's it's a different world, man.
I've been whooping ass on low testosterone for a while now, and now that this guy turned 48 years old today, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't plan on doing none of that shit, because for me, it's not worth going through all that, like seriously, it's not. Jay Clean's like, what's Jamie's weight nowadays? He just had a match. He has one coming up, actually. Matter of fact, he has one coming up against Clifton or Erickson. Yeah,
Erickson. Yeah,
that's coming up either this weekend or next weekend.
Yeah, Jay Clean. These guys are on. It's like Overeem saying he's on TRT and he looks like he's 3 times the size. It's like when Vitor Belfort says he's on TRT and he comes in just jacked.
Okay, but here's the thing though. that might be true. I'm on TRT. He just ain't telling the rest of the world what else he's on also. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Just being real, guys. I've dealt with guys like that before. Oh, I'm doing TRT. Shut the fuck up. TRT and what else? Come on, man. That's why it's like, that's where that rant was last week. Like, okay, come on. How about this? I'm like, dude, shut up, man. No, because I know you're back in the gym. I get it. You're working out. You're working hard. I get that. But when you ghost me for so many months and all of a sudden you resurface and, hey, I'm a new man now. I've been working hard. Yeah, your shit must have kicked in. Like, dude, what the hell? Russ, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, didn't RVJ, isn't he got some match coming up that's actually drug tested?
Yes, he's going to Montana. Matter of fact, it's the same event that Sheldon and Erickson are pulling at. Same, it's in Montana, which is the home state of the guy I'm fucking talking about right now.
Now, I didn't watch the video yet because there's going to be some logistics to figure out. But
yes, it is actually a tested event. So I don't know what nurse is doing all that kind of stuff, but I applaud the effort because let's be real, man. In this sport, because it is a one-on-one sport, not so much a team. And I get we have teams that we train with. We have clubs that we train with. I get all that. But when it comes down to it, it's you and yourself and I on that table. Your teammates can only help you so much. What's that say?
It's not his alleged match against Bowen that's tested. Yeah.
But people in this sport can make people fickle, meaning that, they want to win so badly, they'll do anything possible to get out a win. And then, like for what? If it's an even playing field, and I lose, I don't have a problem with that. Want to know why? Because I'm okay with losing. As weird as that may sound, right?
Mm-hmm.
My life does not depend on the fucking arm wrestling match. Meaning that, hey, if I go there and get a night, hell, look, man, I've lost $1,000 in a super match in front of my wife, kids, in-laws, nieces, and nephews. Doesn't get any more suckier than that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the deal. If I were to go here and just get the boots put to me, guess what? I'm fine. The pressure's off. Me and the guy I lost to probably go have a beer. Ain't that right, Russ Schrader? You see what I'm saying? And then on top of that, guess what? When the smoke clears and the dust settles, my wife did not leave me. My kids still love me, and I still got the house. End of. This sport is not that damn serious, people, where I got to put my body through all this, these changes and stuff for what? What for? Come on, people.
It's a matter of perspective. Yeah.
And I'll be damned if somebody's going to try to use me as a launch pad. Oh, I beat Jody. I'm like, yeah, you fucking fucktard. You're on the sauce and stuff, man. Of course you did. Of course you did. But again, it's just sorry. Hey, we're past the 15-minute mark, so we're good.
Well,
right?
No, I want to actually talk just a little bit about expanding on that because it's been my frustration over the years because there have been times when I have gone against somebody and had a really good match, and I'm talking about an elite.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that match, and nothing changed with me, but because of that match, I got booked into a super match with them.
Right.
And then I show up, 2 months later, and we have our super match, and I get blown away because a lot of things have changed in the interim.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still the same, but they're dramatically stronger. So anyway, it's frustrating because you never know.
And don't tell me that guy was on spinach. I'm not trying to hear that either.
Yeah.
Dan Woodley said, "Is the Uncle John and Tom Stubblebine match been confirmed?" Oh, damn it. I just spilled coffee all over my desktop. Sons of bitches. Wow.
No good.
No. Hey, run
Jody, you get something? I'm going to talk about my tournament.
Yeah, go ahead and do that right quick.
So I haven't I got a tournament coming up on March 30th. It is basically confirmed. But what I will not do is I will not advertise it until I have the check in my hand, because I do not want to pull what has happened in the past and not come through with the money. So This is a traditional double elimination tournament. Every weight class. The prizes are first place 300, second place 200, third 150, fourth 100, and fifth is $50. So you have pretty good prize money all the way down to fifth, considering that your entry fee is $20 an arm. The classes are men's right and left 0 to 180, 181 to 220, 221 and over. And then I've got 2 women's classes, 0 to 150, 151 plus. This money is getting given away no matter what. So if a class is empty, well, it stays in my pocket. If it's full, like the ladies come out and they fill up these classes, the money's going away. It's myself and Dave Knox refereeing. I'm not arm wrestling. And Dave is the referee in chief for Canadian Arm Wrestling Federation. We're both master level refs. Yeah, it's going to be a great event. March the 30th. But again, I got the poster over here, but I'm not releasing it until I've got the check in hand. Dan, this is a tournament, and you can spread it around to the guys out there. It's in Headingley, Manitoba, and I'm going to advertise the hell out of this thing the second I have that check in my hand, but I'm not actually going to say anything until that time as far as putting an event on social media, all that kind of stuff. But as soon as I have the check, and it should be this week, that's getting advertised. So hopefully the Thunder Bay guys all make it out for that. But March the 30th, Headingley, Manitoba. Just put a little asterisk next to it because while they did approve my budget, I'm waiting for that check.
All right, I'm back. I had to change clothes and everything, man. All right.
Poor Billy. Billy's still getting it.
Did you see his latest super match?
Nope. I'm aware of it. He got beat on the right arm and by Nelson Torque, and then he beat somebody on the left arm.
How good is Nelson Torque? Because he looks pretty stout.
He's come a long way. He looked really, really good at that last tournament.
Did he show up at the North vs. South?
Yes.
Huh. Okay.
He was there. I don't remember him arm wrestling there.
Right. Okay. I was just kind of curious. I'm like, because I saw him and I'm like going, man, dude's pretty stout and pretty quick off the go and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, he's come a long way. He looked pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for you to put that belt in the line, the one that's sitting directly behind you, you know.
The belt on the line requires a challenger, and it also requires an event, and the Stronghold event was postponed. So the one I was going out there to referee,
what
has
happened?
been postponed.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
How much does he weigh anyway, Nelson Torque?
Well, if I were to guess, I would say 240-ish.
Woo. That's a big guy right there.
Jeff, give us some insight because Jeff Miller knows they're both Alberta guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think Nelson's lost a pile of weight recently too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Other than that, dude. So when you leave for Texas again, Thursday or Friday?
Friday morning.
Okay.
I'm doing 2 things Friday morning. I'm having a Nexus interview. You know what Nexus is?
The only Nexus I know is the Renegade group out of WWE with Wade Barrett. No.
Nexus is like the trusted traveler program where you can basically skip the security checkpoints.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that like that TSA thing?
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, I've heard TSA. I've heard that before.
Yeah. Same thing.
Okay. Well, wow.
Yeah. So I'm doing
it. Just bypass everybody because it's going to
fly right past. Yeah.
How long is that flight from Toronto to Texas?
A couple hours. It's not much.
Okay. Oh, ain't too bad.
Yeah, but I got to fly from Winnipeg to Toronto first. That's a couple hours.
But then you say you don't touch down until like 11:30 at night, though, right?
11:30 at night. So I basically am going to go straight to a hotel, probably get there after midnight, and then Jay Clean says probably 3.5. So it'll be a while. I'll get there late. I'll try to get some sleep, get up, and get ready to arm wrestle immediately.
Oh, well, here, I got something that'll probably rival that before we put a bow tie on the show. So now my new county job, right? I start the 19th. Originally, I was supposed to leave March 1st, right? Head to Denver, right? Arrive at 5:50 on a Friday. And because of training for my new job, I can't do that now. And then I'm like going, fuck. And so I'm scrambling. My wife is scrambling. We're trying to find a different, flight. So you'll love this one. Flying out of Portland, Oregon. And I live about 3 hours south, right? And Bend, Oregon, Central Oregon. I get off work at 10 o'clock that night. Friday night, 10 o'clock. Drive up to Portland. 3-hour trip. Overnight in the hotel. And then my plane leaves from Portland at 5 a.m. Arrive in Denver because it's an hour difference at 8 something. Unload the day of the tournament, 8 something in the morning, the day of the tournament. Hop in my rental car, drive about 45 minutes north to Loveland, Colorado. Okay, I'm ready to pull. Sure thing, that kind of stuff. So, yes, we've been there before, Ryan, where going somewhere on a flight and then, bam, now I got to compete. What the hell?
Jay Clean's bad joke. We're not going to get into that again. Yeah.
So next week's show, we're going to touch base on your performance, yes?
Absolutely, we will. And then we will talk about, can we do Tuesday next week?
No.
Okay, we'll reschedule it. We'll put it on a different time, maybe a different day.
Okay.
And then we will also talk about King of the Table.
I will let you know what my week is next week, what my schedule looks like. I believe I got the weekend off. So I think one of those shifts was like a graveyard or something like that. But I have to let me look at my calendar and I'll get back with you.
Sounds good.
But do me a favor. Safe travels. Go whoop some ass. If you can get video, that'd be awesome. If not, I understand.
There is a link. There is a link to the live stream, and it is in this video description right now.
Yes. So, again, my friend, good luck this weekend. I'm excited for you. Knuckles up. We'll be watching. So,
they'll be watching.
Yes, sir. Everybody, thanks for joining the show. If I didn't say already, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.
Everybody.
Take care.